The extraordinary story of the Ukrainian soldier rescued by his colleagues from the front line by delivering him an e-bike by drone. Now, while we've been on the air, President Donald Trump has said he's deploying US nuclear submarines in response to provocative Russian comments. President Zelensky of Ukraine says the number of people killed in a Russian air attack on Kiev on Wednesday night has risen to 31, including 5 children. In a phone call with Sir Keir Starmer, he called for additional sanctions on Moscow. Meanwhile, in Russia, President Putin said Moscow's goals in Ukraine remain unchanged. The Russian leader was speaking at a meeting with the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko. On Monday, Donald Trump said he'd cut his 50-day deadline for Russia to agree to a ceasefire or face new sanctions to 10 or 12 days. Steve Rosenberg reports.
On a remote Russian island, no castaway, just an away day for Vladimir Putin and his close ally, the leader of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko. Donald Trump says he's disappointed with the Kremlin leader for continuing the war in Ukraine. Disappointments, Mr. Putin said, stem from excessive expectations. No sign he'll accept America's 10-day deadline to make peace. His guest backed him up. 50 days, 60 days, 10 days, Mr. Lukashenko said. You don't do politics like that. It's laughable.
I think it's Russia, I think it's disgusting what they do.
President Trump isn't laughing as Russia continues to attack Ukrainian cities, leaving some in ruins. This is the shattered town of Chasiv Yar after 16 months of fighting. Despite ultimatums and deadlines, for now, the war goes on.
And so far, because Donald Trump has changed so many deadlines and he's twisted one way or another, I don't think really Putin takes him seriously, or ever did, for that matter.
Experience shows that for Donald Trump, deadlines are not set in stone. They change, they move. But on paper at least, this one runs out in a week. And if by then Russia hasn't signed up to a ceasefire, it will face additional sanctions. And in theory, there'll be sanctions too against countries buying, for example, Russian oil. Earlier in Moscow, they gathered to remember Russians who were killed in World War I, the war which led to the Russian Revolution. But what do people here make of what's happening today and to President Trump's ultimatum?
We
experienced sanctions and ultimatums in Soviet times too, Andrei says. They existed before, and they'll happen again. It's nothing new. That doesn't mean, though, that Russia won't feel the pressure if President Trump chooses to exert it. Steve Rosenberg, BBC News, Moscow.